Tesla's secret robot is about to change everything, and nobody's talking about it. They said it couldn't be done. They called it a gimmick, a dancing tin can in a suit. But what if they were dead wrong? Because right now, deep inside a factory in Texas, something is happening that could make the iPhone look like a party trick. Tesla's Optimus Gen 3 isn't just a robot. It might be the last machine humanity ever needs to build. And the hands? Oh, the hands. The hand that changes everything. Forget everything you thought you knew about robots. Every sci-fi movie, every clunky factory arm, every gimmicky demo, throw it out. Because the moment engineers and tech observers got their first real look at Optimus Gen 3's hands, something shifted. People stopped laughing. People started staring. Here's why. Previous humanoid robots, including Optimus Gen 2, topped out at around 11 degrees of freedom per hand. That sounds technical, but here's what it means in plain English. They could grab things. That's basically it. Grab, hold, release. Like a claw machine at a carnival. Optimus Gen 3. 22 degrees of freedom. 50 act per hand. That's not an upgrade. That's a different species of machine. These hands don't just grip. They press, they smooth, they squeeze, they twist. They can brush fabric without tearing it. They can cradle something fragile without crushing it. For the first time in the history of robotics, a machine's fingers move the way yours do, through a complex layered system of joints functioning like biological pulleys. Some people immediately called it staged, remote-controlled, a puppet show for investors. But here's what silenced the skeptics. Tesla didn't just show off a party trick. They explained the engineering. These hands are biomechanical systems, not industrial tools. And they're wrapped in a smooth, sealed outer shell, like a premium glove that protects the motors and sensors inside from dust, debris, and real-world chaos. This isn't a lab robot anymore. This is a robot built for your world. The question isn't whether these hands are impressive. They obviously are. The real question, the one nobody wants to ask out loud, is, what happens when a machine can do everything your hands can do, but never gets tired? The brain behind the brawn. A revolutionary hand means nothing without a brain fast enough to control it. Enter the AI-5 chip, Tesla's most powerful silicon yet, and the nerve center of Optimus Gen 3. This isn't just a processing upgrade. This chip runs full end-to-end neural networks in real time, giving the robot the ability to estimate force through machine learning rather than thousands of expensive tactile sensors. Think about what that means. Instead of programming Optimus to grip a glass with exactly X pounds of pressure, the AI learns the same way a toddler learns not to squeeze a juice box too hard. Trial, feedback, adaptation. Except Optimus learns it in seconds, not years. And the AI-5 doesn't just control the hands. It powers something called GR, an advanced voice interaction system that lets Optimus hold real conversations and respond to spoken commands naturally. But here's the detail that almost nobody caught. In leaked footage from a recent Austin pop-up event, analysts spotted something Tesla never mentioned on stage. Under high-contrast lighting, tiny redesigned heat vents were visible along the back of Optimus Gen 3's spine. That's not cosmetic. That's thermal management for a chip running at extreme power loads, cooling technology, adapted directly from the Model 3's inverter system. Tesla quietly solved the overheating problem, and they didn't announce it. They just did it. That's either confidence or arrogance. And at this point, the line between the two is getting very thin. The battery secret nobody is talking about. Here's a question that should be keeping robotics engineers up at night. How do you power 50 actuators per hand, a full AI supercomputer, and a humanoid body for an entire work shift on a battery pack that has to fit inside a human-sized torso? Tesla's answer: stop thinking like a car company. Optimus Gen 3 ditches the heavy lithium iron phosphate batteries found in most EVs, and instead runs on next-generation nickel-manganese cobalt cells developed in partnership with LG Energy Solution. The energy density on these cells has been clocked in recent tests at an estimated 400 watt-hours per kilogram. That number matters because it means Tesla can pack dramatically more power into dramatically less space and weight. Every gram saved in the torso is energy not wasted by the hip and knee motors just to keep the robot upright. It's a cascading efficiency gain that compounds across the entire system. The result: 8 to 10 continuous hours of operation. That beats the original 7-hour target and covers a full human work shift with room to spare. But the real engineering flex is something called mode, an unannounced feature buried inside the AI-5 chip. When Optimus is performing low-demand tasks like standing still or moving slowly, the chip automatically drops its clock speed and deactivates idle actuator clusters. The robot literally downshifts to save power, the same way your body conserves energy when you're just walking versus sprinting. And when the shift ends, no one needs to plug it in. Leaked images from the Austin factory show Optimus autonomously backing up to wireless magnetic charging docks, similar to how a Roomba finds its base, and self-charging during human break times. The cost per charge cycle, by Tesla's internal estimates, 32 cents. Let that sink in. Inside the factory, This is already happening. Here's where the conversation stops being theoretical. Elon Musk made a decision that almost nobody covered properly. Tesla has terminated the Model S and Model X production lines at Fremont to make way for Line 1, the world's first dedicated humanoid robot production line, targeting capacity of 1 million units per year. This is not a roadmap. This is not a PowerPoint slide. The machines that used to build some of Tesla's most iconic cars are being replaced by machines that build other machines. And in Giga, Texas right now, the first Gen 3 units have already been deployed, not in demos, not behind glass, but in live factory logistics. They're transporting component trays between assembly stations in a real chaotic environment full of noise, autonomous forklifts, and constant movement. The robots are navigating without guide tape, without preloaded maps. They're localizing themselves in 3D space in real time. That's not a proof of concept. That's a product, but $20,000. Here's the scenario nobody wants to confront directly. Tesla is targeting a $20,000 price point for Optimus, with ambitions to scale to 10 million units per year. At that volume, the cost of each actuator module could fall to the level of a car window regulator. Mass production economics are brutal and beautiful at the same time, but forget the factory. Think about your home. If a robot can fold your laundry, prep your meals, clean your floors, help your elderly parents stand up safely, read to your kids, detect a gas leak, replace a light bulb, and water your garden, and do all of it continuously without a salary, without sick days, without burnout, what is that actually worth? Because here's the uncomfortable math. At $20,000 to $25,000, you're not buying an appliance. You're buying a workforce, one that pays for itself. And Tesla isn't hiding this vision. Elon Musk has stated plainly that the long-term goal is to put Optimus into millions of homes, cooking, caregiving, yard work, real tasks, real value. The skeptics aren't wrong to ask hard questions. The tether cables spotted at the Austin event were real. The technology is still maturing. The gap between a demo and a dinner table is vast, but that gap is closing faster than almost anyone predicted. The moment that actually matters, every generation has a moment where they look back and say, that's when everything changed. The printing press, the light bulb, the internet, the iPhone. People mocked all of them early on, said they were overhyped, said the timing was off, said the technology wasn't ready. The hands of Optimus Gen 3 might be that moment for robotics. Not because they're perfect, they're not. Not because the product is finished, it isn't. But because for the first time, the hardest physical problem in humanoid robotics has been cracked. Replicating the dexterity of a human hand has been the field's defining barrier for decades. That barrier just fell. What comes next is anyone's guess. But one thing is becoming very hard to argue. This is real, and it's moving faster than you think.